Normally I do a quite serious thing, but this is pretty old school even for me. Anyway, hey everybody, this is Retrokid Reviews, sounding hopefully a little bit better after the last couple of days of a half in, half out coughing. Nothing really serious, anything like that. Anyway, today I am doing a retro review of the Nerf Sharp92s. I'm going to put the blaster down for a minute and talk about the packaging, which is actually pretty cool. You got a nice sticker sleeve that I'm probably going to use some of this on my laptop if anything, so I'll probably take a pic of that if anything else later in the week. The box, however, you could definitely tell is old school 90s Kenner style. Another thing in the box here, I think they mentioned correctly. Yeah, this isn't the limited line, this is the Nerf Retro line. Essentially, aside from being one half of my namesake here on the channel, this is actually a pretty good cover sleeve. They talk about the sticker sheet being included. Holds 3 mega darts, and kind of want to get the most obvious con out of the way before we get to the blaster itself. This whole set, thankfully, was a birthday gift from my mom, so thank you to that for old school Mama Craig on this one. So I'll give her props there if I ever give her a username. Please let me know in the comments down below what to name her. I'll probably put a poll later in the year. That said, I think when this was announced on a poll stream, or I think it Hasbro, yeah, I think it was a poll stream. Wow. Sorry, it's been a while. Long day at work. Anyway, so they offered 3 more darts. Long story short there. That ain't the case here, because the ask of $30 is quite a lot. However, I'm a stickler for like the old Kenner style blasters that I never had when I was a kid. I think the closest I had to one of them was the Supermax from Lanyard series. I forgot their competitor at the time of the night, so my apologies in advance for Nerf historians. I'll look up the wiki down below, which, by the way, still to this day, I am still surprised that there's a wiki for this fandom nowadays. Good on me there. So, yeah, so cover my bases aside, or ask, depending on how you ask. What do I think of the original sharpshooter? First and foremost, I do not have this original blaster when this was new. This is the Retro Sharp92, and so far, it is shooting pretty good. And I did a lot of, wow, I think I wore out the stick on that. I actually did wall stick tests for the new, or in this case, refurbished old school stickies. The thing you've noticed if you're a historian of Nerf, that this, the original Mega Darts they used to have back in the day were actually finned, kind of like big bad bow arrows. So essentially that's kind of the big issue there. However, the other issue, if this is a huge turnoff for you, I understand, but however, it does help a lot in modification down the road. Since this is technically a Mega Blaster, I think the guts of this thing, internals-wise, is a hot shot, so I highly recommend a mod video I found from Not Enough Nerf for his barrel modification for that, if you want to just keep it at Mega. However, I want to see if I could try to get it into what I did with my Big Shock over here. This was my attempt at a brass barrel slash inline clip. In theory, it can do a little bit of what I am asking for. It's not going to shotgun it right out of the gate. So this is it with 2, I think, regular Dart Zone Gen 1 darts. So let me see if it at least does a little bit. Nope, still shotguns. So in case you can tell, this is a required fitting. I'm still trying to figure out the basics, but I did get it to inline, so I don't know. Again, it's front loading. It's going to be more, I want to say, HVA kind of style, or more HVZ ranges if I front load it. Nope, still looks pretty hot. So anyway, that's where I'm getting at. Now, another thing I'm getting at with the modifications for this, it can technically, by just tricking the air restrictor right now as is, if I could get a dart real quick to demonstrate. Can use a regular Elite, and with Elite Performance, but yeah, it could still technically, you can trick it in a pistol round if you didn't modify it yet. So that's kind of the cool factor of it. Another thing, the body of this blaster is very old. You can tell that with my normal sized human hands, it is like a pinky short on, I want to say, the grip. I think my whole hand could fit the Big Shock. I think like years of like playtime with it probably has my like hand being accustomed to it, essentially, especially that big front piece right here that always like stabs it a bit at times. So it makes it a decent half grip, if anything, if you're in a pistol round, obviously. This is the progenitor of not just like a Nerf pistol, but I think Nerf dart blasters in general. I think that was the big front piece discussion about the whole thing. FPS ranges is probably not much. I think when this was new back in '92, it was hitting like 30 or 40, and I think that diminished it over time of however you played it over the years. And it had the original dart post at the time, because you could tell it has the modern day ARs. But ultimately, it has a good remake of the shell. It's probably a little bit diameter short of the original blaster. Again, I don't have one here to do comparisons with. So you're going to have to go with what other nerfers have said throughout the entire hobby that's already talked about. I'll leave those links down below. I will, however, leave Out of Darts' history with this particular sharpshooter, because they did do a sequel and it was like double barreled, not like Smart AR nowadays, but like they were equivalent of like just shooting one at a time kind of style. Smart AR, I think, at the time. Ultimately, this is an important blaster. If you don't have the money, if you don't have $30 to get what is a overly designed box, I'll admit. However, it is kind of got a cool factor. If you grew up with this blaster as a kid, it's nice to have, if anything else. The fact that it takes modern day mega internals gives it a lot of opportunity to modify, like I just said, demonstrated earlier with my brass breach. So, and that's still with the ARs, by the way. You could still technically do this with the ARs. If you could just wrap around the tape long enough, you could do an improv mob, like, on the spot. I think, the modability for this blaster is a lot higher than some may think, especially for, like, even the old school sharpshooter at the time. However, I guess unicorn 90s blasters I've always wanted to get. Obviously, the 95 crossbow, there's no denying it. I kind of want that just for, not just for style points, but for, like, the sake of hit preservation for, like, Nerf history as a whole. Also, I'm not going to be that guy that wants to immediately put a flywheel kit into it. Hi, Coop, how you doing? How's your retirement? Long story short there. But yeah, I think for Nerf Retro as a whole, I feel like the price needs to get down to like 25 or under when it comes to future pistols that they're going to be probably later down the road. To only justify that $30 is that you got to give me like at least 3 or 4 more darts easy, just to justify the cost, personally speaking. If the cost is basically recreating the box, fine, I get it. But I don't know, I feel like a little underwhelming with the dart shortage there. However, now that we're here, it does take modern Mega, since this is the internals of a hotshot. This is the Accu series Mega. Hits it just fine, pretty accurately too. Again, this is still running on stock. The Nerf Fortnite Megas you've been seeing lately. Whistles just fine too. Another big thing is the draw. I think this is I guess, again, the progenitor of like a lot of future draw pull pistols that I don't have on me right now. I was supposed to have this for the purposes of the video. So again, the one I've used the most throughout my time as a Nerf plinker is the Fire Strike, and I could definitely tell like the inspirations there. I could also see why everyone in the hobby event to do keyrings as time went on. Hi, Forsaken Angel 24, if you're still a thing out there, card any of his old, I think, lock and load pistols. Another thing I've noticed lately, going back to see if anybody had old mod videos of the original blaster, there isn't. There are blaster mods for the Sharpshooter 2, but not really for the original recipe sharpshooter. So I don't really know if that's, I guess, one of those blasters I forgot to get. Never really found out a Goodwill kind of thing. One last demonstration, regular, I think, Gen 1 Megas. Again, for the sake of time and consistency, I'm not going to do performance checks. Maybe I can with my chrono real quick. Hang on. 1, 2. And hit the chronograph because it thinks it's 30,000 feet. So that ain't gonna happen. So go with the ranges that you saw in Not Enough Nerfs video. I think it's more consistent. I think Griffin's Mods did a quick comparison to this and the original blaster. Same for Captain Xavier. I'll leave all those links down below. And yeah, wasting a retro shot the way. My overall rating for this blaster, it's a 10. Like, even if it's just an average pistol, which most likely it still is, given that it's hotshot internals, that still, in my opinion, gives you more modability. That still gives you something that's like a backup pistol, shield breaker if you're doing an HV0, since this is taking Megas, which means it can take modern Megas. Again, it's still going off the ARs. Shoots pretty consistent, nothing really crazy. However, if you're in it to see like what the world was like for like original Nerfers when this was out in '92, I could not recommend this enough. If $30 is a little higher for you, I highly recommend waiting on the holidays for it to drop to like 15 to 10 bucks on Amazon prices. Again, that's where I got it from. I'm pretty sure Hasbro Pulse would probably do a sale, probably at 20, like it was originally supposed to be when this was new. So with my final couple of shots out of the way, what did you think of this blaster? Do you think this is a great tribute to the hobby of what it was beginning to be? Is this a great tribute to Kenner era Nerf? Please let me know in the comments down below. I personally think it did exactly what it was out to do, and I give kudos to the team who is trying to bring the retro line a thing. I know they tried doing this with the Icon series a few years ago. I think their Spectre as their only blaster here for the channel. That being said, I am very much aware of the misjumbled internals they used to do for the long shot. I think I mentioned that in my Spectre review, so card there if I already did a video on that. And until next time, I'm Retrokid Reviews saying, God, I hope I'll stick this the screen on the way out. Yeah, so upcoming reviews later this week. I'm going to try to do a catch-up review for Blue Beetle if that's still in theaters. Wish me luck there. If not, end card here to my current react to Critical Role episode 71. Dry fire shot here to my previous video, was the One Piece review, and I still, even a week later, can't believe it broke the anime curse, so I'll explain that again in that full video there. Shirt here to sub the channel, and dry fire that way to the notification bell for future Nerf content. With that all being said, I am Retrokid with your review saying, yeah, a retro-style blaster. You couldn't beat any more of my namesake if you tried, Hasbro. But for real, go pick up the Sharp92. Again, wait for a sale if you don't like the price. However, trust me, it is worth your time for a piece of Nerf history. Thank you.